Maliek Collins is about to enter the fourth and final year of his rookie contract. The Cowboys' defensive tackle, taken in the third round of the 2016 draft, would love to be considered among Dak Prescott, Ezekiel Elliott, and Jaylon Smith as major stars of that class. But he hasn't made it so far, and the team's makeup in 2019 could make things even more difficult. If he wants to remain a starter this season, Collins will have to compete with veteran Tyrone Crawford and emerging stud Antwaun Woo. He may also need to worry about newly signed Christian Covington from the Texans, who could blossom as a 4-3 DT as he converts from a 3-4 in Houston. If that wasn't enough, there is plenty of speculation that Dallas will spend one of its top 2 picks in this year's draft at defensive tackle. With the Cowboys now having DeMarcus Lawrence signed to a long-term deal and acquiring veteran Robert Quinn, it would seem that Tyrone Crawford will be fully dedicated to the DT position going forward. There is a strong possibility that Dallas will see Crawford and Antwaun Woo as their top 2 tackles. Of course, starter is a loose term when it comes to the Cowboys' defense. The heavy rotation that Rod Marinelli employs keeps everyone fairly busy. But for a guy like Maliek Collins, trying to position himself for free agency in 2020, being stuck in a timeshare isn't ideal. It's especially troubling if you're not getting the majority of the available snaps. With no years left on his contract, Collins may even be a target for a cap-saving move. Dallas could trade or release Maliek for an easy $2 million in cap space, which they might value more than the player by final cuts. Collins has been a solid player for his 3 years in Dallas, but circumstances in 2019 are not looking great. Hopefully he can wow the team in training camp this year and at least hold on to his roster spot, if not earning a significant role this season. Defensive tackle Maliek Collins, per multiple reports, including one from Dallas Cowboys ESPN insider Todd Archer, the Dallas Cowboys and All-Pro defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence have agreed to a new 5-year contract. The Cowboys have agreed to a 5-year, $105 million deal with DeMarcus Lawrence that includes $65 million guaranteed, according to a source. Per Archer's reports, the new contract will be for 5 years and $105 million. After weeks of negotiating and reports that Lawrence was looking for $23 million as an average annual salary, the two sides agreed to a deal that will pay the elite pass rusher $21 million per year on average. The sticking point in negotiations was likely going to be over the guaranteed money. Lawrence will earn $65 million in guaranteed money over the course ignorant the contract. Cash flow of Cowboys to DeMarcus Lawrence's 5-year, $105 million deal. Year 1, $31.1 million over 2, $48 million over 3, $65 million per Albert Breer. Lawrence will earn that $65 million over the first 3 years of his contract, which means, if the Dallas Cowboys need to, they can get out of his deal prior to year 4 with less of a cap hit with no guaranteed money after year 3. Though he'll get $31 million this year, that won't be his cap hit. The Dallas Cowboys will structure the contract so they aren't taking that big of a year 1 cap hit. Lawrence, the Dallas Cowboys' second-round pick from the 2014 NFL Draft, finally had his breakout season in 2017 when he put up 14.5 sacks. In 2018, while playing on the franchise tag, he produced 10.5 sacks. Not only is Lawrence one of the best pass rushers in the NFL, he's arguably the best 4-3 defensive end when it comes to playing the run. This deal means that Lawrence is signed through the 2023 season and will continue wreaking havoc for the Dallas Cowboys. It was a deal that was always going to get done, as owner and general manager Jerry Jones has been searching for his war daddy to replace former pass-rushing great DeMarcus Ware. Now that the Dallas Cowboys have licked up their premier pass rusher, they will now field a defense that should contend for the best defense in the NFL in 2019. The addition of Robert Quinn gives Lawrence a legit rusher to help him get to the quarterback. Teams won't be able to focus solely on Lawrence in their blocking schemes. This is a great deal for both Lawrence and the Cowboys. Lawrence gets big guaranteed money and the Cowboys get some relief after year 3 if for some reason he doesn't continue to be the dominant player we've seen over the last 2 years. In running back Ezekiel Elliott, the Dallas Cowboys have found one of the elite players at his position. Since making him the 4th overall pick in the 2016 NFL Draft, Elliott has won the NFL's rushing title twice and has averaged more than 100 yards per game on the ground through the first 40 games of his career. In 2019, he has the opportunity to join a who's who of Hall of Fame running backs. Below are the players with the most total yards from scrimmage through their first 4 NFL seasons. With 1,700 total yards in this his 4th season in the NFL, Ezekiel Elliott can join this illustrious group of players. Most yards from scrimmage through first 4 NFL seasons. 1. LaDainian Tomlinson 7,921 2. Eric Dickerson 7,842 3. Terrell Davis 7,594 4. Chris Johnson 7,071 5. Clinton Portis 7,059 6. Barry Sanders 6,968 7. Adrian Peterson 6,952 8. Marcus Allen 6,942 9. Of the 9 running backs listed, 6 have already been inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Adrian Peterson, who is 7th in total yardage for a running back in his first 4 years, will undoubtedly be in the Hall of Fame one day. Clinton Portis and Chris Johnson may not be Hall of Fame worthy, but in the early part of their careers, they were a couple of the best running backs in the NFL. Based on what we've seen from Ezekiel Elliott, it's almost assured that he'll be on this list by January of 2020. In his 3-year NFL career, Elliott is averaging 1,749 total yards per season. That includes the 2017 season when he sat out 6 games. Consider for a moment that Ezekiel Elliott has only played 40 of a possible 48 games in the 3 years he's been in the league. He sat out the season finale in 2016 when the Dallas Cowboys weren't playing for anything with home field advantage locked up. Again in 2018, with the NFC East already in the bag, the Dallas Cowboys opted to sit the NFL's leading rusher to save him for the playoffs. In 2017, Elliott was forced to sit 6 games, when Roger Goodell went against the recommendation of his lead investigator in Elliott's assault case, to suspend the All-Pro running back. That's 8 games missed. Elliott averages 131.6 total yards per game through 40 games. At that same pace with 8 more games included on his ledger, Ezekiel Elliott would have 6,299 total yards. That would put him only 700 total yards behind Emmitt Smith for 9th. Had he played in all 48 games, it's possible that Elliott could have broken the record for total yards in the first 4 seasons of a career. In the 2 seasons that Elliott has played 15 games, he's totaled 1,994 yards and 2,001 yards in the 2016 and 2018 seasons. So it would seem that, barring injury, it's a foregone conclusion that Elliott would total the necessary 1,700 yards to join this elite list of running backs. Now, exactly how high could Ezekiel Elliott climb on this list in 2019? If he played a full 16-game season at his current per-game pace, he'd gain 2,105 total yards in 2019. That would put him 4th on this list, ahead of Chris Johnson. It would take gaining nearly 3,000 total yards this season for Elliott to set the record for most total yards in a player's first 4 seasons. That seems an unlikely goal. Finishing inside the top 5, and perhaps the top 3, is a realistic possibility. With everything Ezekiel Elliott's accomplished in his first 3 years in the NFL, it's not a surprise that we're talking about him in the same group as LaDainian Tomlinson, Eric Dickerson, Barry Sanders, Marcus Allen, and Emmitt Smith. He's been everything the Dallas Cowboys could have hoped for when they made him their first-round pick in 2016. This is why the Cowboys front office is preparing to lavish him with a big payday. He's in historic company, and with health and some good luck will only continue to make his case for future enshrinement in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Ezekiel Elliott's star continues to burn bright and his trajectory is ascending. For while our focus right now is on the 2019 offseason and games still to come this year, it's hard not to look ahead to 2020. The majority of the current roster is either playing on expiring contracts or are just signed for 1 year, and even head coach Jason Garrett is in the final year of his deal. Could the Jones family be looking at 2020 as a potential reset button for the franchise? The decision not to extend Garrett's deal beyond this season makes sense. While he has done an admirable job of keeping the team competitive since 2011, too many years have ended with disappointing playoffs misses or early exits. There have been rumors that Jerry is eyeing the Saints' Sean Payton, a former Cowboys offensive coordinator, as a potential Garrett replacement and upgrade. Payton's deal with New Orleans also ends after this season. Could the current handling of the roster, leaving just around 30 players currently signed beyond 2019, speak to a potential change at head coach? Are the Jones leaving things open so that a new coach, especially one with a profile like Sean Payton's, can come in and reshape the roster to his liking? Even the quarterback position may indicate this thinking. Dak Prescott is entering the final year of his deal and the Jones have expressed their intention to get a long-term contract done. But if they're in wait-and-see mode on Garrett, could Prescott ultimately get the same treatment? Cowboys QB Dak Prescott and RB Ezekiel Elliott. No player position dictates the personality of an offense more than quarterback. If you bring in an offensive guru like Payton, he's going to have very specific likes and dislikes for that player. Dak Prescott isn't Drew Brees, either in style or skill. Would Payton be happy with Dak as his QB for the long haul? What about Ezekiel Elliott? Dallas should eventually pick up his fifth-year option for 2020, but what if they bring in a coach with a more pass-focused approach? Will it then make sense to tie up a lot of cap space in any running back? Just look at how bare bones the roster is after 2019. You can see where a complete scheme overhaul is being made possible. Offense depth: Saint QB Mike White, RB Jordan Chun, FB Jamize Olawale, WR Michael Gallup, WR Noah Brown, WR Cedric Wilson, WR Devin Smith, WR Reggie Davis, T Dalton Schultz, T Cody McElroy, OT Tyron Smith, OT Cameron Fleming, G Zach Martin, G Connor Williams, G Cody Wichman, G Jacob Campos, C Travis Frederick, D Randy Gregory, D Taco Charlton, D Durance Armstrong, DL Tyrone Crawford, DT Aziz Shida, LB Leighton Vander Esch, LB Chris Covington, LB Kyle Cairo, CB Chidobia Woozy, CB Jordan Lewis, CB Donovan Olumna, S Xavier Woods, S Treston Deku, P Chris Jones. The Cowboys still have a few moves not reflected here, such as Zeke's fifth-year option, or that Jaylon Smith will only be a restricted free agent in 2020. But you get the idea. Also not included here are their 2019 rookies, of which at least 4 to 5 should make the team this season. You get a sense of just how important this draft class may be, what with so many players hitting free agency next year. Of course, this could all be circumstantial evidence. Between now and next March, Dallas might reach new deals with Prescott, Elliott, DeMarcus Lawrence, Amari Cooper, Byron Jones, and many others. And if the season goes well enough, that Jason Garrett contract extension is likely to follow. But right now, looking across the organization, the table is set for a potential major shift in personnel both in the locker room and the coaching staff. Jerry and Steven may be looking at 2019 as more than just another season, perhaps the chance to blow things up if they're not satisfied with the results. Some fans might be willing to sacrifice this year for a sweeping change. Others would love to see Garrett and Prescott prove their doubters wrong, and probably nobody more than Jerry and Steven. Still, only time will tell what the Jones family is really thinking about the future of the Dallas Cowboys.